In this session, I want to talk about the organization and customer relationship. So, the organization and customer relationship. Organizations use various methods to retain customers and maintain ongoing relationships. Clearly, this is important for profitability and for continued sales and possible growth of sales into the future. The ways in which the organization may retain customers and maintain ongoing relationships may be through good customer satisfaction. It may be the case that not just the product is good quality, but if there are issues, the company can be contacted. It has got a good follow-up aftercare service which is efficient, polite, understanding and supportive, so that the business develops a good reputation. There's also a trust on the part of the customer in the organization, perhaps based on past experience or based on word of mouth. Someone's friends recommends the product and they have had good experience of the product. And there's a feeling amongst the customers that the company values the customer relationships and that the purchase can be made with confidence, because in the event of something going wrong, the company, as I said earlier, will support the customer in trying to get satisfaction, perhaps by replacing the product or by taking it back for repair, doing it efficiently, paying for the postage or for the carriage for the repair or whatever. So there is a feeling amongst the customers that the company cares. And also the companies may deploy techniques to stop customers from leaving, stop customers from buying alternatives, and we'll look at these later. In fact, we'll go through these headings for the rest of this session. So let's start with customer satisfaction. If a customer is satisfied, they are more likely to make continuous purchases and also to recommend the product to their friends so that additional sales may be had. Relationship development requires all functions of an organization to work with each other to achieve successful customer relationships. It's not just the marketing department and the aftercare service it provides, but it's also production, it's also the stores, the distribution. It's all aspects of the business working to a common aim, and that common aim is customer satisfaction. So if all of it links up, if all of it is joined up, the ultimate outcome will be customer satisfaction. That is the plan. There are circumstances where organizations don't develop customer relationship marketing programs, but customers make continuous purchases. In fact, for the majority of purchases, it could be said that the customers do not contact the business afterwards. The majority of purchases are made and there is no contact with the business. But nonetheless, it's important to have a customer relationship program available if required. Now, the second item we talked about was trust. Trust is an important issue. A customer must trust the organization in order to make repeated purchases. If the customer has a bad experience with the product, then the customer will think twice about purchasing the same item in the future. the customer may feel reluctant to recommend a product to a friend. So it's important that the customer has trust in the product. The aim of an organization is to maintain a customer's trust of the product or service provided. So the organization must maintain trust. It must build a trust for a start and then maintain it. And in the event of something going wrong, it must have a customer relationship program which enables the customer to go back to the organization to seek compensation or to seek some remedy for the failure of the product. So the overall experience should be positive. In that way, the customer may continue to buy the product. And they know the next time if they buy it and it goes wrong again, it's not a bad experience. The company will deal with it efficiently. So that trust plus loyalty leads to profitability. Trust, continued sales, loyalty to the product, continued sales, leads to profitability. Next is valuing customer relationship. Well, in order to maintain a relationship, a customer must feel valued. This comes from the following: prompt and reliable reordering of product or services. The relationship between the customer and the organization is really two ways. First of all, the organization sells to the customer and must provide value for money and must be valued in the mind of the customer. But the customer also, in the buying role, must trust the organization and must have confidence at a distance that the organization will honor its word, will honor what it says about the product. So it's the organization looking at the customer as a seller and trying to estimate and meet the requirements of the customer, and the customer as a buyer looking at the organization, looking at the product, having trust and confidence in the product that the organization will do what it says it will do. The use of databases to record customer details and preferences make them feel valued. If a customer phones into an organization regarding a problem that's been reported and is met by details about their order, is met on the phone by their first name or second name, their surname, and addressed properly and politely, and it creates the impression of efficiency. It creates the impression of an organization who is dealing with that customer. The organization may be dealing with thousands of customers, but that particular one feels valued at that moment in time. And that's a positive experience. The company may offer membership or sponsorship services for customers who wish to form relationships. So, for example, customers may join a certain club run by the organization, or may become a member of some club or some group that the organization sponsors. And in this way, it creates almost a family of customers who buy the product. And it's an efficient way of the organization to deal with customers, because the organization deals with the group or deals with the club that it has set up. And through the club, it's one to many. The club disseminates the information to all its members. And in a time of widespread use of computers and ever-increasing widespread use of computers and databases, this is becoming easier for the companies to do. So they try to capture the customer's email address and consent, and keep them informed through newsletters about the product or about what is happening within the business. And working with the customers to try and solve problems. This makes the customer feel important. The customer is valued by the organization. The organization may even ask customers for recommendations and suggestions how the product could be improved, looking at their experiences of using the product. At the same time, balancing that so as not to spam or to contact the customer with a lot of questions, unwanted questions, which are also untimely. So the customer does not want to have intrusive phone calls when the customer is about to sit down and have his or her evening meal. But working with the customer and involving the customer in even the development of the product makes the customer feel important and a part of the business. Now let's look at barriers to exit. This sounds a very strange heading, but companies can use techniques to try and stop customers from leaving. So it's how to prevent customers from going to competitors. Well, first of all, competitive pricing. Now this is where the marketing professionals within the organization earn their money. They should really try to collect some data on the perceptions that the customers hold regarding the product. If the product is seen as cheap, it may reflect poor quality on the part of the product. If it's too expensive, they may not purchase it. So it's complex as to what the right price is. It's certainly the case that competitors will set prices to try and outwit the company. But there are issues here in how the price should be set. Clearly, the competitors' prices must be taken into account. And generally speaking, the price set by the business will not be too far out of line with that charged by the competitors. The company could provide very good quality at the prevailing price. This means the customers build up loyalty to the product. They like it, it's good quality, it's reputable, it becomes market leader perhaps. In this way, the customers will not leave to join the competitors. Customers will want the product. Also, if the business is introducing new products, so it's seen as innovative and dynamic, it's good to be associated with such a company. Not a company that is sluggish about changing its product line or by not innovating significantly. Those companies may be seen as old-fashioned and not really keeping up with the requirements of modern living. So introducing new products is a sign of dynamism and innovation and change, and customers tend to like this. Also have good customer service standards. I've talked about this earlier. The experience with dealing with the business in the event of something going wrong with the purchase, that experience should be positive. It should be good. It should be supportive. The people who are dealing with the issue should be clear and articulate and polite and supportive, creating a positive experience. If they're not, then there are issues to be dealt with on that side. But if they're not, it's certainly the case that the customers may be lost. So positive customer service standards is a type of barrier to exit. The customers will want to stay because they've had good experience. New products, they'll want to stay. Good quality, they'll want to stay. Competitive pricing, that will not hurt. That will perhaps enable them to stay as well. So these are the type of barriers to exit that are in mind under this heading. So that concludes this session. We've talked about the organization and the customer relationship with the organization in the session. It would be wise to go back over the video again, stop it, make your own notes, and fill out your own notes so that you have a more complete set. In the meantime, thank you for watching.